Hello guys, this is Remik, and in today's tutorial I'm gonna show you the latest feature of .NET 10, so file-based applications. Starting from .NET 10, you are able to create your own C# scripts and run directly without overhead of creating the project or the solution. So this is the game changer when it comes to creating the scripts in C#. If you have subscribed my channel yet, I highly recommend to smash subscribe button down below, to give me a like, to write a comment, and to subscribe to my weekly .NET newsletter. All the links down below in the description. And now let's get started. Alright guys, so at first you need to make sure that you have .NET 10 SDK already installed on your machine. How to check it out? So then you have to open up the command line and you have to type the following command. So .NET --list and then -SDKs. And as you can see, I have 3 SDKs listed down, and you need to make sure that you have .NET 10 SDK listed over there. If not, then you have to download it from the Microsoft website. And now I would like to show you when you have the .NET 8 specified as the version of the SDK that will be run inside of this directory, then when you create the demo.cs file and use the console write line with, of course, the hello world, I will save it. So then with .NET run demo.cs command, we'll have the following error. So it couldn't find the project to run. And now when I'll change it out to .NET 10 and the version that I have installed, then when I will execute the same command, we can see that we have the hello world in the output window. The first thing I would like to show you is how to use the NuGet packages inside of the file-based applications. So let's say that I would like to use the Newtonsoft JSON to serialize the object. So how to do it? You have to type #package, and then we need to specify the name of the package. So newtonsoft.json and then @, and at the end you have to either specify the version of the NuGet package, for instance 13.0.1, or you can, for instance, use the wildcards to get the latest version. So let's say that I would like to use 13.0. wildcard, so then it will be resolved as the latest version over there. So then I will specify using newtonsoft.json, and now I will create var x equal to the new object of the name John and age equal to 18. And then I would like to serialize it. JSON convert dot serialize object, and I will take this x and then console dot write line and the serialized version. And as you can see over there, we have the following warnings. So the serialized object, which has this attribute, it can break the functionality when trimming application code. So it means that when we run it, as for now, we have the result, but this following library relies on the reflection. So by default, in the file-based applications, you have the native AOT enabled. So when publishing this application, then it can lead to the unexpected results. So how to fix this problem? You can access the MS Build properties, for instance, the language version to get the preview features of the language, or the access to the publish AOT, which is set by default to true, to set to false when you're using, for instance, as me over there, Newtonsoft JSON or just purely the reflection, to not have the unexpected results. So how to access those properties? You have to specify the hashtag colon, then property, publish AOT equal to false. Once I have saved this file, we can see that this warning is gone. So now we don't have unexpected results because it was disabled. And now I will type .NET run demo.cs once again. And as you can see, now we have just purely the result without the warning. In the file-based applications as well, you can specify the constant value for the C# language version, for instance 14, or you can set it up as preview to get the access to the preview features of C# language. So how you can do it? The same way as with the publish AOT. So property lang version is equal to, for instance, 8, and with it you're not able to use the records because they were introduced in the C# 9. So then when we'll change this to the preview, then this error is gone. And if you would like to disable by default enabled nullability, then you can do it by using nullable is equal to false, and then when I will save the file, we can see that the annotation for nullable reference types should only be used in the code within the nullable annotation context. So, and when I will remove it, then we'll see that this error will be gone because by default, the nullable reference types are enabled in the file-based applications. In the file-based applications, you're able to use, for instance, .NET Web SDK to create the minimal API. So from the single file, you'll create the fully working .NET Web API, the minimal one, which can, for instance, send some HTTP request to the external API. So now I would like to show you how to do it. So here we'll combine everything. So properties, SDKs, and NuGet packages. So at first, you need to specify the property as the publish AOT to false, because I will use the libraries which will depend on the reflection. So the one that we have already discussed, then the SDK. So hashtag :SDK and then Microsoft.NET SDK Web. And then I will use two NuGet packages. So OpenAPI and the Scalar to get the Scalar interface. So now I will create the builder. So var builder is equal to the web application create builder with the args, and then builder.services at OpenAPI, and I will use the HTTP client. So builder services at HTTP client. Then I will specify the app is equal to the builder.build. Now I have to configure the Scalar and OpenAPI. So I will type app map open API and app map Scalar API reference. And now I will create one endpoint which will retrieve the data from the external service and then return the results in the JSON type. And at the end, I will use app run. And guys, this is the end of this application. So from the one file, you're able to create the fully working minimal API. So only 26 lines in my case, and it will invoke the HTTP request, get the data, and use NuGet packages, properties, and the SDK. So now I will run this API, .NET run demo.cs. I have accessed the scalar interface, so /scalar, and we have one endpoint. And I will specify the city as London, and I will send the request. And as you can see, we have some data retrieved from the external service. So from only one file, you're able to create fully working minimal API. Now there's a time to publish the application based on this demo.cs file. So I have introduced two more properties: published single file to true and static web assets enabled to false to reduce the files being generated. And now I will type .NET publish and demo.cs. And now we can see that in the artifacts/demo, we have 4 files. So this in process and the web config were generated because we are using the publish AOT to false. If we set this to true, which is not recommended when you're using the NuGet packages with the reflection, then of course those will be removed. So now when I will use another .NET publish demo.cs, then we'll see that we'll have only 2 files, so PDB file and the executable. So now let's wait for the output. And now we can see that we have 2 files, but I will change it to false and I will remove it and generate once again, and we can check it out if the API will work as expected. So now I'll go inside of the artifacts demo and then I'll access this file. So demo.exe, I'll run it. And as you can see, directly the application is accessible when using the published executable file. And now the last part of this tutorial is how to convert this demo.cs into the project. So not to have only one file, but to convert it to have the csproj file. So now I will go to the root directory and I will use the following command. So .NET project convert demo.cs, and now specify the output directory. By default, it will be demo, so it will be fine for me. Delete all source files after the conversion. No, keep all the source files. So now, as you can see, we have demo.cs and the demo.csproj, and based on that, it generated csproj file with the usage of those nuggets that I have defined in my demo.cs. So we have the real project based on this demo.cs file. The last thing worth to mention that currently we are limited to the only one file to be converted into the project, but it was announced that in .NET 11 we'll be able to use the multiple files conversion to the project from the file-based applications. So then it will be more handy because now, as I have said, we are a little bit limited, but let's stay tuned for the new .NET release. And this is the end of this tutorial. I hope that it was helpful for you. Now you have the overview of the file-based applications. If yes, don't forget to click the like down below, to write the comment, to of course subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my weekly .NET newsletter. All the links down below the description, and see you in the next tutorial.